I apologize if this video is a bit quieter than the last ones that I've made. As you can tell by my hair and beard growth, I don't exactly get these reviews out on time. The reason for the volume thing is my daughter's asleep in the next room. So this video actually has a script. I know that's hard to believe. I'll do my best to follow it. So allow me to finally and formally welcome you all to my channel. The other reviews, I just did them and posted them on my original private social media, but now I'm actually going to be posting these reviews other places. If you don't want to hear all of this, I'm going to leave a timestamp somewhere in the description or the comments just so that you can skip straight to the actual reviews. So I originally came to the conclusion in June of 2023 that I wanted to own a small library worth of books. I wanted to be able to walk into a room with my grandkids someday and say, I've read all of these, right? I did a bit of research and I found that generally about 1,000 books is considered to be a small library. So I decided that that would be my goal. First of all, I'm not including any of the books that I've read prior to starting this, which admittedly is a very small amount, at least in my adult life. I read plenty when I was a kid, a bit less when I was a teenager, and almost none when I was an adult. I think maybe one book a year at the most. My name is Nicholas Allen. I am an aspiring author who has written at least 2 manuscripts at the time of recording this, and I'm about halfway through a 3rd manuscript. I wanted to build an audience prior to publishing anything so that if I do decide to go the self-published route, I'll, at least with some of my books, I'll have a bit of an audience already to help me with that. So with my busy work life and my home life, I found that it was difficult for me to not just start reading a book, but to actually finish it. While I know that some of you are able to pick up a book and just read it in a single day, I don't necessarily have that luxury. Not that I'm complaining, it's just I have far less time to actually devote to reading. So I eventually just decided on the goal of reading 1 book per month, which will not get me to my goal of 1,000 books. I think in 50 years I'll get to like 60 or something like that. Or not 60, 600. Good Lord, 600. But, you know, it's something, and it's a lot better. And hopefully I'll be able to stay ahead. I've been getting a lot better about being able to read much quicker and finish multiple books a month instead of just 1 a month. With my first reviews for the first books that I read during this, I would just do typed out reviews on my private social media page. But then I came across Red Rising, the series that this book I'm reviewing is actually a part of. I was so impressed with the story that I couldn't fit all of my feelings just into a single typed post. So I just had to do a recorded review instead and just post that. This eventually culminated in me creating, this private, or not this private, this specific author page on Facebook and a YouTube channel where these reviews will mostly be posted at. I'm still not sure if I'm also going to post them to my Facebook page. I think I will be posting at least this one to my author page. So I have to say, Morning Star, the book review that this one is, like the last 2 books in the series, is still one of the most entertaining books that I have ever read. Morning Star begins roughly 1 year after the end of Golden Sun, which is a trend with at least the first 3 books in the series. This book was overall by fans rated lower than Golden Sun was. It was rated about, I believe, about even with Red Rising. And I believe the reason for that is because of the almost complete hard reset that happens with the protagonist, with Darrow. The action is very limited at the beginning, much like it was in Red Rising, where the first like quarter of the book there's not a whole lot of action going on. But the action definitely ramps up in a big way by the end of the book. It's by the time I got to the end of the novel, I was like nearly having a panic attack with those last few chapters just because of how insane they were. I don't want to say too much because I'll definitely start getting into spoilers if I do right now. So I will just say that overall, I rate this book an easy 9.5 out of 10. It's absolutely outstanding. And for any critics of Pierce Brown's work that say that he's, predictable, I don't know how. I don't know. It seems like every single Pierce Brown book that I'm picking up in this series, I'll kind of glance at the reviews for it, and there's always someone that says, "Oh, predictable, such a predictable book." In what way? There's things that happen in this book that there's no way you'd be able to predict it. Sure, it can be predictable. It can be very predictable, especially after you've read the whole series. You start to kind of understand how Brown works, and you're kind of sitting there and you're like, "Oh, this isn't going to work out. I already know something bad's going to happen. I bet I know exactly what the bad thing's going to be." But still, he still manages to find a way to make you just completely freak out with some of these twists that he throws in there. So this is now going to be the beginning of the spoiler portion. So that was the spoiler-free review. From this point on, it's going to be some major spoilers. So this book is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. I read the entire thing in just 5 days. Remember, I had a whole month to read this damn thing. 5 days, that's all I needed. Which is about 3 weeks ahead of schedule. I could not put this thing down to save my life. It has everything. It has death, marriage, betrayal, war, genocide, love, birth, loss. It introduces characters. It introduces characters that'll be insanely important in the future. Characters like Seppi the Quiet, Trig, Holiday. It kills off characters like Ragnar, Aja, Octavia, Trig again. One of my favorite parts in this entire story is when I think they're on the North Pole of Mars, and Cassius, and Cassius and Aja have gotten in a fight with Darrow and Ragnar and Mustang, and Cassius is, standing over Darrow, right? He's beating the crap out of him, and Mustang is, she's got an arrow pointed right at Cassius, right? And Cassius is standing over Darrow, and she says, "Don't move, right, or I'll kill you." And Cassius says, "I know you won't shoot." And he takes an arrow straight in the throat, right? Right, and Mustang comes running up to Darrow, and she's like, "Are you okay? What's going on? Where are we gonna go now? What are we gonna do?" And while they're having this conversation, Cassius is just on the ground, just fucking dying, and I cracked up. I thought that was so fun. I thought that was one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen. I'm sorry, I thought it was so funny. Get out of here. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was so funny, and that scene is kind of an antidote for the fact that Ragnar dies, which is horrible. It's so sad, and it's not fair. It made me so upset. Basically, if you want a character to survive to the end of the series, just don't read it, because they're not gonna. Everyone dies. It's unfair. It's not fair at all. But the ending of this book. The ending of the book is the only time when I cried from excitement, from being happy, and so much was going on. I was I had to run into the bathroom and sit there no way, right? I was freaking out. I was almost on my knees. I was so excited with this, the huge twist that happens at the end. And I'm not talking about Darrow's baby, by the way, which is insane. I think that happens in the epilogue, when Darrow's baby gets revealed to him. I'm talking about whenever freaking Cassius has changed sides and the whole thing is planned and the gun clicks and Severo's not actually dead and then they're fighting and you know it's so good. It was so great. And I really wanted to like not read the rest of the series because when you get into the acknowledgments of the book and you're reading what Pierce Brown's saying, he's basically saying, this is where I wanted this story to end. Goodbye, this is the end of the story. Of course, we know that's not true because he's made 4 more books, or 3 at the time of recording, with the 4th and final one about to be released, which would be 7 books total in the series. Because I really wasn't sure if I wanted to read any more, even though it ends without everything being resolved. At least the bad people are done, and it seems as though Darrow's fight's pretty much over, and it gives the sense that everything from this point on is just politics, and that's Mustang's job, but Darrow's fight is over. We know that's not the case because there's 4 more books that come after this. But I mean, I was fully immersed. In this story. I can't even lie. But yeah, overall, the trilogy itself was absolutely amazing. I'll be forever thankful that I chose this over whatever other series I was considering. And I just really wish that I could read it for the first time again. But I'll never get to experience that. But still, this might be one of the only series that I actually go back and read again. So, yeah, that's the review. Hopefully, I will be able to get video reviews out for the other books that I've read so far. I think I'm like 11 books into this journey to 1,000 books, and I've only done like 3 videos. This will be my 3rd video that I've done, which would be book 7 out of all the ones that I've read. I'm currently on Lightbringer as I'm recording this. I think I'm about 170 pages into Lightbringer, about to finish that. Not sure what I'm going to read after that. I'm considering reading either the Princess of Mars, which is the John Carter of Mars series, the one that crappy Disney movie is based on, which I've never seen the Disney movie, so I guess I can't really say it's crappy. I just know that it flopped. Either reading that one or Dune. I know that's a big one to pick up, but yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to read next. We'll see once I finish this. I keep looking back here because my cat's here, and she jumped up earlier, but you guys didn't see it. And now she's sleeping. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to try to get these reviews out a lot quicker. Catch up on the previous books that I've done, and then just keep making them and keep posting them here so that I can look back and see what I thought of these books in the future when the time comes. And this will really help me out with sticking to my goal of reading 1,000 books someday. But yeah, thanks for watching. Adios.